Hi, and welcome to the Red Bra Project YouTube show. We are here tonight live with two very fun guests that we cannot wait to dive into. But it's episode 21, and it's a Red Bra first because we have not one, but two guests that we get to chat with tonight. Oh yeah, look at these ladies. Hey Shauna, how's it going? Quick shout out.
Hey Renee, it's going really well. It's good to see you. I'm so excited about our show tonight. Two fantastic women. We are really crushing hard this Wednesday.
We are. So we are coming to you. So we're coming, of course, from across the country. Shauna's in Boston. I'm in Wisconsin tonight, and our guests are from New York. They're live with us from New York right now. So we are with Christine and Audrey from Madison and Melrose. So I'm not going to share too much because I want them to share everything. But first, ladies, cheers. Welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you.
I'm sober sister tonight.
It's okay, someone has to drive.
Right?
Luckily, we live in the city, so that's not really a problem. But
all right, ladies, welcome. We're so excited to have you. And I mean, oh my goodness, just going through some of your Instagram and your website and just learning some about your story, I'm just like, oh my gosh, tell me more, because you're really paving the way. You're so inspiring. And I mean, at the end of the day, you're authentic and you're true. You're just real. You put it all out there. So will you guys please start by giving us a little background about where you're from and kind of how you ended up in New York City?
yeah, so I guess ending up in New York City, I'll start. I moved to the city almost 8 years ago. So it'll be 8 years in December 2010. I'm originally from California. I grew up in California until I was 17. Then I went to college in Seattle, Washington. And then I was in a position where I was lucky that I was kind of done with college my junior year. So then my senior year, I was like, I want to intern for a magazine. So I decided to apply to a magazine with Marie Claire, ended up moving across the country my senior year of college, graduated, and then never left. So that's kind of how I ended up here.
That could be an interesting story, but I came here for grad school. I went to the University of Memphis for my MFA in photography, from Memphis originally.
But you lived all over the world.
Yes,
which is really cool.
I studied abroad in Hong Kong, and I fell in love with photography, and I fell in love with fashion photography in London during my study abroad at the University of Westminster. And then I just knew I needed to move to New York for this grad school program in fashion photography, which is ironic because that's not
But we'll get to that later.
And it's really funny because after that program, one of the speakers at my school at SBA was Christine's boss at the time.
Yeah.
And we met through Imagine Fashion, which she was the editor, and I was the retoucher for their company, and that was kind of how we met. 6 years ago, and we became best friends. And
the story of how we met is kind of funny. We were talking about this other night. So in 2012, we were both working for Imagine Fashion, and so it has unfortunately since closed, but it was kind of a way to shop in real time the different windows of stores around the world. It was very
Christmas
kind of
stores.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like ahead of its time. So I think it was something that would be launched in 2018. It would have been a huge success, but since it was like 2012, no one really quite got it yet.
Right.
But
windows.
Yeah. Now it's like a no-brainer, but
our boss Amber is awesome, and she's really fantastic interior designer now. That's kind of the career she's chosen. But we ended up meeting because it was our first time, and Audrey was shooting an event that was going on at Tiffany's, and I was attending as press. It was Baz Luhrmann was hosting Breakfast at Tiffany's in collaboration.
My name's Audrey.
Yeah, totally.
With kind of the Great Gatsby movie, so it was like, Baz, his wife, Audrey, me, and
so I'm wearing like this
15 other people, and so it was really cool.
We're all dressed up like this in the theme, and I turn around because Christine just has this look on her face,
and we're leaving Tiffany's. Yeah,
and like screaming at me like, "Oh my God, Audrey!" And I turn around and like, Bill Cunningham is taking my photo, and I'm lined up in the New York Times photographing like the looks for that season,
So it was kind of a magical day when we met. We had breakfast with Baz Luhrmann, then Bill Cunningham took a photo, and kind of was kismet and destined, I guess.
It's a normal day.
Yeah. It's a normal day.
Wow.
Basically, we knew each other, you know, for 5 years. We'd become closer and closer friends kind of as time went on. And then we found that we were both in similar positions professionally where, you know, we were doing well. Like Audrey had just finished shooting Vogue as well as shooting for kind of some other good brands.
Yeah, and it was just like freelance though is so hard. I mean, it's just you never know. Like you're constantly hustling, you're constantly like, going, and so many people need the A to Z solution. You need something that, you know, can encompass everything, and also like that's kind of why like she's kind of like.
Yeah. So basically, Audrey was working freelance. She had like a lot of success. You know, she had shot for Vogue. Her works ended up in Forbes and Elle, Branda, etc. Like every single magazine that you could potentially think of in the world. But at the same time, you know, she wasn't exactly kind of happy where her career was. And I had a very high-paying, well-paying, comfortable corporate job. I was the head of digital acquisition, and then I was the senior manager of influencer marketing for a multi-billion-dollar beauty brand. And at the same time, though, we were both kind of in a place where our lives just really didn't feel fulfilled for various reasons, mainly Audrey because her life was a little too sporadic, myself because my life was a little too structured. So it's kind of two opposite ends of the spectrum, but we basically realized there was a huge hole in the market. Lots of times when I would work with agencies on the big brand side, we'd have like 6 different agencies who had 4 different employees, and then I had like 24 employees at the end of the day instead of my like 2 assistants.
Like I'm gonna go here for photo, I'm gonna go here for design, I'm gonna go here for my website, I'm gonna
Here
go
for
here
SEO,
for
yeah.
SEO, I'm gonna go here for like social, and then you know for all this other like random things, I'm gonna go here, and then no one has the content, nothing's cohesive, and it doesn't tell a story.
Yeah, so lots of that gets kind of lost, as well as on the brand side. There's kind of so many different inefficiencies that it becomes a huge pain. You know?
For sure, because you're picking from everywhere and there's no cohesive flow, and it's just, you don't have this, you lose the story almost behind it with all of the beautiful parts, but you got to make it come together. I get it.
Yeah, so that's kind of how Madison Melrose was formed. You know, it's kind of a long
But also,
story.
I mean, it's also for me, it's really about inclusivity. Plus signs about inclusivity and inclusive content, and really women supporting other women. And it was, you know, right after the 2016 year of, I don't know,
like our country
change,
kind of upheaval and
and things. And I just felt like the need to be empowered and empower other women to do the same thing, and that really, really, really made it easy for us to make the dive.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that is how I originally found you guys on Instagram, because I was looking for women who were also trying to raise other women up to be supportive, and you guys just jumped out at me. I mean, what you're doing is an amazing platform to really celebrate strong women. So if you can expand a little bit more on Madison and Melrose, just what your goal is, what you've been doing.
I think we can talk more about our individual Instagrams as well as influencers.
Sure.
I think that's kind of, as people in general, we build Madison Melrose as our company, but we want to also live that lifestyle.
Yeah.
So you can kind of, I'd love for you to start talking about when you started about fashion and feminism.
Yeah, so I started a blog back in 2012 called Madam Ostrich, and it started as a feminist fashion and rock and roll blog, so it's kind of like all over the place. And then in September 2015, I was voted for the Real Women's Style Awards. I was on the cover of Red Book magazine. So that's kind of when the blog took a change, and it became more about kind of confidence and feeling good in your own body, as well as kind of finding your individual style. Because, you know, at the time I was a fashion blogger and I was beginning to gain traction and become more and more successful. But it kind of felt inauthentic because it was kind of like, oh, I'm a glorified clothes hanger. And a lot of the times, you know, like I'm like a bigger girl, you know, I'm a size 12 now. I was a size 14 earlier this year, you know, like my weight fluctuates quite a bit. So it's just, you know, the thing is like, what am I selling? You know, I'm not trying to sell clothing. I'm not trying to be, you know, like an ever revolving wardrobe. However, I want women to feel empowered in knowing what their style is and in knowing, kind of that they can look and feel beautiful and be successful regardless of what size they are, regardless
sexy.
of, and sexy,
It's okay to feel sexy. It's
yeah,
okay.
Sure.
regardless of what their income is, regardless of maybe, you know, like their socioeconomic status, like they're able to feel good, because the thing is, feeling good comes from within and it radiates out. you know, you can be in a position where you can buy all the hottest trends. You can have, you know, everything that's new into the nines, but still not feel good about yourself and you not feel beautiful. And so through my personal Instagram, my mission is really allowing women to live boldly, live confidently, and create the lives that they want and live unapologetically. So
I love that.
I do too. And your first picture when you first started blogging, and I love how you documented it. You kind of went through and, you know, you took us on the journey. So that's really cool because when people go over there, you know, you can kind of see where you started and where you are and how it transitioned and, you know, you grew into where you guys are now. So I love that.
Yeah. And then Audrey's it's funny because when we started the company, I kept on telling Audrey, like, hey, you need to update your personal Instagram.
Well, and because I had the photography one, and I had, you know, these other ones. I was just kind of like, I just would post photography. Like,
yeah.
Nobody wants to see your photography. They want to see you. And
Yeah.
I said, okay, fine. Like, I'll go that route. And I grew from like 950 to 2020. I'm at 30 now, almost 30.
But in 9 months, which is crazy, you know, like growing an account growing that quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, needless to say, but I've been really open and honest about my struggles. I mean, I've been I have struggled with anorexia. I've struggled with a lot of different things throughout my life, and I feel like as a woman, I want to be open and honest with everything that I do because I wish that I'd had that person when I was 13, 14, 15, 16. And even like people going through things at my age, like I feel like I want to be that inspiration to other people. And so many people message me daily about how like I've encouraged them to, you know, really up their game and like their life. Like people that went to like middle school, elementary school with me, and people that I've never met, and men from all over the world
they're not creepy.
They're not creepy. How they love that we're just unapologetically ourselves, and like that we don't give any fucks, which I'm gonna say.
Absolutely.
Because I don't like, it's just everybody has this filter and this. I mean, obviously, I want it to look cohesive,
but yeah, because you're a photographer too, so it's like not like it's just like against your like personal ethos. But I feel like, you know, there's enough like room in the world for everyone, especially when it comes to the web. And you know, the thing kind of tying back to our brand's mission with Madison and Melrose is that everyone, whether you're a multi-billion dollar real estate investment firm, which is one of our brands.
Don't mess up on
that. Don't mess up on that
one. Billions.
Zeros.
Like a budding young adult author, you know, like everyone has a voice, everyone has a story that needs to be told. And that's really what we want to do through Madison and Melrose is help people both tell and amplify their story kind of on a digital scale.
Oh, I love that. And we can resonate with that so much because, you know, when we first started as the Red Bra Project, it was like, oh, are you going to talk to just women in a certain area or a genre or story? And it's like, no, it's all over the place because one person's story may resonate with somebody, but it may not resonate with another person, but someone else's will. And it may be a similar journey, but we're also different and unique in our own ways that we learn different ways from different people. And I love that about you guys because, you know, giving that platform to help women elevate their voice and make them feel great about themselves. I mean, that's just awesome. And you guys you're walking the talk. So, you know, there's a difference between just talking the talk, but you're actually walking the talk and showing it out loud. And, you know, that's so inspirational. And Audrey, I mean, I, you know, was looking at some of your fitness inspo and things like that. And I just wrapped up on like this huge program myself. And like, I know how much, you know, determination and things like that, but you know, both of you guys together, it just sounds like you balance each other out so well. Dare I say the dynamic duo?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is we're really different people. Like, you know, we have the same hair and very similar, but I think our advantage, like, and it's funny because everyone who is close to us, whether it's like my family or like my best friends from home, they're like,
Audrey thinks too.
Yeah, like it's just like you two, like the way that we both kind of we both think very differently about things, because we're both very analytical, but in different ways.
I'm really creative in the way I see in boxes, and then she sees in a more linear structure.
Yeah,
and so I think that it really puts everything into perspective.
I think it's beautiful how you understand each other's strengths, though. And it seems like you guys really play off of that. And, I think that that's probably why you are so successful, because you understand how to communicate with one another.
Communication is key.
Yeah, that's really, because
Number one thing
live
in
together,
relationships,
we work
in
together.
friendships, in business relationships. Just leave.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. It's never going to work. So, I mean, the passion can be there, but without the communication, I don't think that, it's constant communication. It's constant, like, back and forth and trying to understand where the other person's coming from. But it's also, I guess that's because we're always trying to understand where everyone else is coming from that we're working with. It works well in relationships too.
Yeah.
And also know what you don't know. Because I don't know everything. I can't do everything. There's no possible way of knowing when to say, hey, like, I need to, like, venture out and hire someone to do this, because it's going to take me too much time and effort and to learn it, and someone else can do it better. I'm going to, like, knowing what you don't know, I think is one of the biggest things that I've learned in business.
I think that's valuable advice, because I think so many people now are trying to take the entrepreneur role and they're like, I can do it. I'm watching all these other people on Instagram and they seem to be doing it. And you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. You don't know that they're being contracted out to do certain elements of it. And so I think if our audience can hear that one piece, that is so important. Like, just be okay with not being good at everything and accepting I'm going to have somebody help me with this.
Be okay with not being okay all the time.
Yeah. It's not going to be okay.
I meditate daily, and it's something I started a year ago, and I think that's something that's really helped me balance the creative and the New York lifestyle and the busy, like, work schedule and the fitness and all of that. Like, just sitting with yourself and just being okay. Giving yourself that 10 to 15 to 20 minutes a day is just invaluable. Like, I feel like that has changed my life in such an amazing way, and I would recommend that to anyone on the system.
I 110% completely agree with you. It's one of the things that I have said now that I wish I would have understood 10 years ago, how much just peace that gives me. 10 minutes, you wouldn't think it. But because my schedule is changing all the time and and you, like you said, you have all the stuff going on, it's incredible how that resets your focus and intention for the day. So I think that's such a valuable piece of advice.
I know you hate
meditating. I hate it, but I love it.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Once it's kind of like exercising. It becomes this part of your life that when it's not there, you're like,
whoa. Yeah.
I need to go do this.
Yeah. Why do I feel like this? Oh, that's gotta be it. So one of the things, I mean, when you guys talk about knowing what your strengths and your weaknesses are and what to possibly look to other people for help with. So, when you made the jump and you're like, okay, we're going to start our own company. We're not turning back. There had to be moments of, oh gosh, can we really afford or trust to hire out or do this? I mean, how did you work through that? And I'm sure you do now still. It's not like it ever ends. It's just you kind of get better at trying to deal with those times. So take us back to the first time and kind of talk about that as brand new business owners, and how did that go and flow?
Well, it was interesting because Audrey had started the business before I joined in. So I kind of helped her give the idea, and then she kind of ran with it, and I was like, whoa, she did this, okay. And so then she's like, I have enough to pay you your salary. So I'm like, all right.
No, basically, it was like, if you don't join, I'm going to kill myself. Yeah. I can't do this. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't care what it takes. I don't care what you're making. I don't care what insurance you need. Like, I don't care if you're joining. Like, I can't do this.
Yeah. So Audrey we were fortunate in the sense that she kind of had it on test pilot with a few clients prior to me joining. I know that not everyone is kind of that fortunate in that they can kind of have a bit of a kind of padding period where they're able to see, like, does this work, does this not?
I'm able to do a lot of the, like, little things that, like, are good in social media that aren't. Yeah. But it was like getting towards reporting and getting towards
ads
this and
everything.
Ads, and I was like, I can't do all of it. I couldn't do it. I mean, I could learn, but I don't have time when you're managing that many people. And so I was like, please. So she'd be working weekends with me.
Yeah, so I'd work my corporate job, and then I started working weekends probably in about July, weekends and nights. I'd come over every night after work. And then it was October that I made the full transition. So we had July, like about 3 full months of kind of the best of both worlds going on.
So we're at about your year anniversary right now, right? Is that?
So the company started in June, and then
Okay.
I started working behind the scenes in July, and then the beginning of October. So I think it was like October 3rd was my last day at my corporate job. So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, but it would not have worked if I hadn't already had clients
Yeah.
and people that already knew me for
Photography.
the past 7 years.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, and then she was bringing all these different people that trusted her work, and it just kind of happened. So
Yeah. It's kind of like the perfect storm.
you're just like,
Yeah.
whoa, we've got too many clients. I don't know what we're gonna do.
Great, but yeah. So then in December, we were like, we need help. It was like 2 months in, so we hired Xenia, who she's not with us tonight, but yeah, she's an angel. I love Xenia. So Xenia is employee number 1,
and we have our head of design in Nashville.
Yeah.
And then our silent partner in LA that does TV production stuff. So we're working on some things that
over there too.
yeah. On the Melrose side is the TV and film side. That's
Got it.
mine.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff in the works. We're working on e-learning right now and launching something exciting in January.
Yeah.
For women, especially
Entrepreneurs
and
small
small business owners, to really be able to teach them how to do everything that we do and survive the digital landscape.
Because the thing is, there's so much kind of crap out there where people tell you, like, do this, you've seen kind of those e-learning, like those e-learning ads on, but so that's kind of, we've identified kind of another gap in the market, the e-learning market, as to what's really important for brands to know about creating a social media narrative. So
it's really about learning your why, but they don't want to hear that. So we have to go at it from a different angle, but if you don't know your why, if you don't know your purpose, if you don't know where to start, you can't really go about creating content, and then you can't really go about navigating that content or pushing out ads. So once you know what your why is, then you know how to navigate that, and that's what will help you do.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is so, that I feel like just hearing that will give so much relief to especially beginning entrepreneurs, but maybe people that have been in it for a while and they're like, it's just not clicking. I'm trying, I'm working, I'm trying to get it all to just make it work. And I just want to throw in the towel, but it sounds like you guys really have a good grasp on that. And you can kind of see the vision from the outside, but help that person to grasp it as well. And then just make it all come together.
Kind of like, and also a lot of these women and men too, but we've got a niche market.
Sure.
I feel like it's time and money. People don't have time to watch things that are really, really long,
or piece things together.
Like, oh, I'm gonna go here for this, and they also don't have the money to spend, $5,000 to whatever a month on social and photography and all of that. If they can get it in a bundle and they can learn how to do it and teach an intern to do certain things, have their intern watch it, I don't know, but it just could make everything so much easier for a lot of women. And I think that once you empower that many women to really start something that they're passionate about, it's like building other people's dreams.
I loved that when you guys talked about that. It's like I'm spending so much time working and doing this, and I'm building someone else's dream. Like, what is it that I want to do for me and for my life? So that's a great point.
So I am curious, how will you stand out and without revealing all your secrets? Because there are those influencer ads, and one of the big ones, Jasmine Star, she's popping up every day telling me how to get my Instagram in order. Yeah. What'd you say?
We decided she's great. I think Jasmine Star is awesome.
She's actually
we're like, she's our competitor.
She's the number one out there. I think that
does the best job.
Actually doing the right thing.
So when you think about that, what is, your focus going to be to be this duo that is teaching something similar, but a new creative twist?
Yes, I think really it's kind of about, and I know that Jasmine kind of discusses this a little bit, but it's about really digging deep into digital branding more so than tactics and strategy.
Got it.
Is, you know, there are tactics, and then there's
like,
strategy.
here's how to make your Instagram look better. Here's how to do this. That's all well and good. But if you don't know what your strategy is, then none of that matters.
None of that matters. Then you're just selling things for the sake of selling
behind things. And if you don't really know what your why, what your purpose, what your strategy is, like who's your person, who's the person you're marketing. What do they do on you?
And I know that Jasmine kind of discusses that briefly in one of her courses, and I have mad respect for Jasmine. I think she's of the people, she's the best of the best. We've kind of looked at courses like hers, done a gap analysis, and seen really like what they don't cover. And so we're excited to kind of roll out in January. And Jasmine, I love you, girl, but we're coming for you. So you can hide, but you can't ignore us.
Also, I mean, I have a master's in fashion photography. She has her background in influencer marketing,
digital acquisition. I've dealt with tens of millions of dollars in budget. I know how it works. I know what makes something $1 billion brand versus, you know, Sally Mae from Who's It's and What's It's. And that's kind of the main differentiator, I think, between where someone like Jasmine, who's a self-made entrepreneur, and
she's a photographer.
She's a photographer, and someone like Audrey who shot for Vogue. There's just a difference.
Audrey, you are so humble. Every time she gives you credit, you like,
she's going for her, my best friend. Don't do that.
Yeah,
but I need you two to live in your moment and enjoy it, because every time she compliments you, you're so humble, and you guys have just come so far. And I mean, keep doing it. We are so excited that we've met you, and I'm excited to see what happens in January. I'm like, I need to sign up for this.
Yeah, definitely. We'll send it to you.
We're very excited, and we're also going to be doing some smaller things for then. She's going to be doing.
So, one of the things, it's kind of really random, but
not really.
It's the one thing that, not the one thing, because that sounds ridiculous, but I look really good in photos, and it's something that I've learned from when I moved to New York. You know, I worked for Redbook magazine. I assist on photo shoots, and you know, I was 21 years old, and all the models were my age, so I'd become friends with the models. And then after that, I went to Jones Group. I was doing all the castings for Brian Atwood, Rachel Roy, Nine West, Anne Klein. All of those kind of e-commerce campaigns. So I'd always be on site with models. And I'd ask them, you know, how do you do that? How do you move like that? How do you, et cetera, et cetera? So I was kind of fortunate in that before I'd even started my blog, I had this arsenal of knowledge on how to pose and how to look in photos. So I'm launching kind of like a mini e-course teaching women basically how to look and feel their best in front of the camera, because it's one of those weird things where in our society right now, you know, like you have to look and feel good in front of a camera, whether you like it or not, because, you know, everyone's pulling out their phone. Your grandma has, you know, your phone. Like, it's just like, no matter what, like you have to, you know, be ready and be on all the time. And it's funny because, you know, my dad's retired, and all he does is watches business news all the time. He's in California. And it's like, okay, like stocks in different plastic surgery industries and gyms are going up because millennials want to look good all the time. And I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. You know, like, so it's a matter of really kind of helping women feel comfortable, you know, in front of the camera. So that way, you know, kind of, these are my go-to poses. This is what I can do. And this is what I can do to feel good and not have to worry and actually be able to enjoy the moment. So that's what I'm kind of going to pilot launch. It's going to be $24.97. So it's going to be affordable for everyone, because it's something I feel like, you know, every woman should feel like they look good and like they're able to, you know, present themselves within the digital landscape, because whether you're getting a job or trying to get a date, or, you know, trying to just like make new friends and not look crazy in your friends' tagged posts on Instagram, you know, like you have the camera. So
it's so true though. Like, oh, where did that come from?
So I really want to help women kind of be the masters of their own narrative in whichever you know, whichever kind of avenue they choose. Be the master
of your own narrative.
Yeah. So, you know, part of controlling that conversation is how you look in photos, unfortunately. So.
It's true. It's true. It opens the door, and then so much more flows from there. I love that.
You know that quote's going to show up on Pinterest. You better like tag that as yours. Oh, 3 people tonight. Well.
Hi, my name is Lane.
This is Lane.
Lane, cute.
Yes.
Hi, sweetie.
He's a love bug.
So before we wrap up, just a quick little question so tell us a little story about what's behind, what inspired both of the beautiful red hair.
It's funny because we met each other as redheads.
Did you really?
We did, and like kind of a similar shade of red, which is even funnier.
That is even crazier. Yeah.
Why did you dye your hair red?
Okay, I've been every hair color. Every hair color. I have like ashy brown, which is good. Doesn't really suit me.
Okay.
Like I grew, had blonde, I did blonde with black, I did black, I did brown, I did every hair color possible. I guess my mom always had hair in her.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's like a gorgeous redhead. I love your mom's red hair. I know, I love her mom. Her mom's like the absolute best. Yeah, yeah, she's awesome.
Literally.
Hi Sherry.
Hi mom.
Hi Sherry.
My mom. My mom is a brunette. It's fantastic.
But actually, we made a point to dye our hair today.
We did before our interview.
Nice.
Love that.
Well, it's looking spectacular.
Like, oh God, we can't.
Well, like I'm a natural blonde too, so it grows in like lighter than my hair. So I'm like, ooh, there's something to be said for that. So.
So speaking of red, we ask all of our guests, we consider the red bra like our superhero cape. And we're just curious, what is the moment for you guys that you feel like you strapped on that red bra and it was your superhero moment?
So I think mine was, I actually gained a lot of weight. I kind of talk about my journey a lot through my personal blog, but I was a size 4, then I was a size 8, then I was within a year, I went from an 8 to a 14. Because I've suffered with anxiety and depression for the past 18 years of my life. And so, it's been a lot of kind of testing out different medications to see which one works. Sometimes, at times the medication would stop working, then I have to try something new, and then I'd either gain or lose a lot of weight, that kind of thing. So when I was closer to size 16, at 14, 16, I weighed probably about 44 pounds more than I do now. And I was actually asked to shoot a national lingerie campaign with Adore Me. So that was kind of, which is, it's a major kind of e-commerce based lingerie retailer, and it was focusing on, it was for Women's Day. It was my first one, and then I shot another one of them later. Focusing on women who kind of live life on their own terms. So I think that was really quite literally kind of a red bra moment for me, because it was about being comfortable with who I am to the core, knowing that my merit isn't based on a society's ideal of how I should or shouldn't look. Because the thing is, I have what's within, and I'm happy with the person and proud of the person who I am and my achievements. So I think that's really kind of what a red bra means.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
We have differing strengths. We answer questions differently.
No, that's perfect.
I'm really good at writing my thoughts.
No, but you answer other questions. We take turns answering questions.
So I guess I went through really, really, really hard.
Yeah, it was really bad.
I went through probably, I don't know, pneumonia to like multiple deaths in the family, to a really, really bad breakup, to an actual divorce, to
Oh.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
It just was not stoppable. And I went to LA for like a month. And then I was just like, I'm going to start. And I think that I just realizing that I don't need anyone but me. I don't, realizing self-love. Self-love is the most important thing. And when you've lost all these other things, everything else is not there anymore, and you have nothing to really brace yourself against, and that you're all that's there, it's just this that's a red bra moment. It's like, okay, I'm me, I'm here, and I love myself, and everything else, it doesn't matter, because no matter what happens, I'm gonna be okay.
It's just dumb. That was a really good answer.
Oh,
It was amazing.
both of them. So good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, just being able to share that, I mean, it's huge in itself. So
I also want to say to anyone out there that has experienced sexual assault or been raped, that me too. And it's really hard to go there and to talk about it. But I think that the more that we do, the more that we're open, and the more that we're understanding and loving of each other, the more that
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is being transparent with your, you don't have to be like, I feel like there's this whole kind of genre of interesting people on Instagram who it's like kind of like vulnerability, like to the max with everything they post. I'm not saying like, oh, do that, but if the thing is, if you have a story, don't be afraid of telling it.
Yeah.
The thing is,
because you might help someone else.
You might help someone else. Yeah.
exactly.
My life's worth living. Like someone else went through that too.
Yeah.
Like I think that that's admirable and amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. What your story can help somebody else. That's just a simple statement, but there's so much power and strength behind that. And that's what it comes down to. That is amazing. And so, ladies, tell our viewers and everybody who watches the replay and things like that, where they can find you, where they can come and join your community.
Yeah, so we are Madison and Melrose. So it's at Madison and Melrose.
She is
Madam_ostrich, like the animal, like the bird.
I am at Modern Factory Girl.
I like for signing.
You ladies are you're just inspiring. You're hopefully leading this new era of empowerment for women. And I appreciate your vulnerability and all of the things that you shared tonight. In prepping for this, we end every episode with a quote. And I found one from Gabby Bernstein, who I've been following a lot. And this is going to be good, I hope.
As like I pull a card every morning.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Well, this one I felt like it was very fitting for the two of you. Change your story, change your words, change your life. And I feel like that is exactly what you guys have done. And your life is better because you pushed through that fear and are here now to just make, women feel good about themselves and to help all of your clients. So we thank you so much for being our first duo.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for putting up with us for a while.
No, this was amazing.
That's how we roll. We love it.
For all of our subscribers, if you want to learn more about them, what was that?
Anytime you're in New York, come hang out.
Definitely. You're not that far from me, so.
We've been wanting to go to Boston, actually.
Come on down. It's just a train ride. It's a bus. I don't recommend the bus, but.
Oh my God.
Is Lane doing something?
He's mad. He's not a star.
Oh, somebody else has the show tonight. Sorry.
To find out more about Madison and Melrose, you guys can visit our Instagram page. We'll have everything linked there. We'll have a blog up for them, so you can follow and learn more about Christine and Audrey. We just thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we look forward to seeing you guys on our next episode. Thank you, ladies.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you all.